Alright guys, so I pretty much just had this sudden thought, this sudden realization about a major twist that we could see in The Flash Season 4, and as crazy and unlikely as it is, it's a little difficult to ignore completely, even if there's absolutely zero chance this is actually going to be a thing. But hear me out on this. What if Barry Allen, the Barry we just saw pop back out of the Speed Force, was really Eobard Thawne? Look, I know this is a completely crazy theory, hence the title, and I don't really have a lot of solid proof to back this up, but there are a lot of interesting coincidences scattered around, almost too many to just completely ignore. So let me just get into it and try to explain as best I can my crazy fan theory about Season 4's Barry Allen really being the Reverse Flash. So the first thing I want to point out is how strangely Barry seems to act after Team Flash gets him out of the Speed Force. And I don't just mean the crazy writing and the rambling and all that stuff, but instead the happiness. Barry just sort of glazes over how much better he feels compared to the past 3 seasons, and that's it. Everyone just sort of leaves that alone. Seriously? Why isn't anybody even remotely curious about that, or the fact that Barry apparently doesn't remember anything he went through in the Speed Force?
I don't remember any of that.
Plus, think about the messages he's apparently leaving for them. This house is bitchin'? Could you ever imagine Barry saying that? Hell, Cisco even says that's not him when he, Caitlin, and Iris are trying to figure out the meaning behind that translation.
That doesn't sound like Barry, no.
No, it doesn't. It's because it's not.
And what about when Iris tries talking to Barry and he suddenly starts vibrating really fast with lightning in his eyes? Gee, I wonder where we've seen that before. On top of that, Barry had a beard when he came out of the Speed Force. We've never seen him with a beard in the show ever. You know who we have seen sporting a beard though? Eobard Thawne. Even one of the producers of the show, Todd Helbing, kinda made it seem like Eobard could make a comeback sometime in Season 4, stating, like, Reverse Flash to me personally is one of my favorite villains, one of my favorite speedsters, so I'd love that guy to pop up now and then, you know what I mean? Another thing I want to toss in here real quick while I'm in the middle of editing this video is how this dude who follows me on Twitter, Spooky Spider Hamill, pointed out something I didn't even think about when I first started putting this video together. If Season 4's Barry is actually the Reverse Flash, this would also be a great way to do an adaptation of The Flash issue number 165, otherwise known as One Bridegroom Too Many. In that story, Eobard captures the Flash and switches places with him so he could marry Iris in Barry's place. Of course, Barry ends up escaping, the two fight each other, and Barry and Iris get married in the end. Considering the CW's finally moving on to the West Allen wedding this season, it makes sense that if this Barry is Eobard, then we'd see the real Barry Allen pop up around the time the crossover story ends, with that story continuing on the actual Flash show. Is that actual proof that this is really Eobard? Not really, but like I said at the beginning of this video, it's a very interesting coincidence. Now after all that, I'm sure there's some of you out there who aren't totally convinced, right? But comics, how could you say Eobard's hanging around in the past looking like Barry? Barry's been saying stuff only he would know. And that's true, Barry's rambling did mention a lot of interesting stuff that you'd think only he would know about.
I'm just not sure I'm like you, Oliver.
I'm just not sure I'm like you, Oliver.
Every hour, every minute.
Every hour, every minute.
And on top of that, everybody on Team Flash seems to be okay with him, so he clearly acts enough like the old Barry. But I'd like you guys to turn to the 1993 story in the Flash comics called The Return of Barry Allen. In that story, Barry suddenly reappears after the events of Crisis on Infinite Earths and starts roaming Central City again as the Flash. While everything starts out okay, things quickly start going south, with Barry nearly beating people to death with his bare hands and actively trying to destroy the city. As it turns out, this Barry Allen was really Eobard Thawne from a point in time before he actually met Barry. This Eobard had gotten plastic surgery to look like Barry and obsessively read the Scarlet Speedster's biography multiple times. By the time he ran back in time and found out he was supposed to be the Flash's greatest enemy, Eobard's mind snapped, and he began believing that he was the real Barry Allen. Now believe it or not, there's actually a few pieces of evidence that we got back in the first 2 seasons that support the idea that something like this happened to Eobard in the Arrowverse, despite the fact that we've seen him get erased from the timeline I think twice now. Case in point, he flat out admits in the Season 2 episode The Reverse Flash Returns that a time travel journey to the past is what led to him being the Flash's greatest enemy.
I was obsessed with you. For so long, I wanted to be the Flash. This ability to travel through time revealed the truth. My fate was to become your greatest enemy. I was never going to be the Flash.
And no, getting erased from existence wouldn't stop Eobard from popping up in the present. Remember how the show's been treating the idea of time remnants over these past few seasons? The Speed Force will always make sure a version of Eobard will pop up in events he participated in, no matter what timeline it is, just to preserve the sequence of events that led to him becoming the Reverse Flash and killing Barry's mom. So considering we've known since Season 2 that Eobard had to find out he's a villain somehow, and it doesn't make a lot of sense for him to do that while Barry's out of the Speed Force, it just makes way way more sense to say that this is the earliest version of Eobard in the show's history, the one who was a major Flash fanboy before he became a supervillain. But all that having been said, I know this is insane and there's no way the writers would ever have Barry turn out to be his arch nemesis in disguise. Still, wouldn't that be the greatest twist ever, to have Barry halfway through the season acting all crazy and Iris tries to calm him down like, "Oh Barry, you can't kill that dude, you're the Flash," and then he's all like, "Oh, I'm not the Flash at all, some would say I'm the reverse."
"Oh, I'm not like the Flash at all. Some would say I'm the reverse."
That would have been a great twist. It's a shame they did the whole evil villain is somebody we know mystery thing 3 seasons in a row. They missed out on a really great opportunity here. But anyways guys, that's my crazy fan theory on season 4's Barry Allen really being a disguised Eobard Thawne. If you guys like this video, or if you have your own theories you want to throw out there, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I will see you all next time. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, be sure to click that like button, maybe leave me a comment while you're at it, and go ahead and click that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to check out any of my social media pages. I've got a Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram. All those links are going to be in the description below. And I've also got my last video right there in the middle of your screen, so if you want to check that out, go ahead and click it, check it out. Alright, and I will see you all next time.